I think he's in there. I think if he beats Ian Garry, I've always put respect on Islam Makhachev. You know, for me, when I start talking about GOATs, like I like to see an athlete be able to do everything: strike, grapple, have a knockout finish, have a submission finish, have, you know, decision victories. You know, he does have one blemish on his record, but so does Jon Jones, so does myself, so do GSP, so does Anderson Silva. So I think Islam Makhachev has proven he can knock people out, he can strike, he can grapple. So I think if he's able to get past Ian Garry, someone who's bigger than him, you know, height-wise, reach-wise, I think, you know, you would be fool to not put him in that GOAT conversation.
But it really all just depends on how long Islam wants to stick around, you know. But I definitely think he wins this one. You could definitely put him in the talks for greatest of all time, but he sticks around and wins another 2 fights on top of that. I mean, you've surpassed the Eagle. You've surpassed Khabib and everything that he's done. You've surpassed Anderson Silva, the Georges St-Pierres, Demetrious Johnsons, the Hall of Famers. Like, I think that there's a world where we start talking about Islam Makhachev being the best of all time over Jon Jones.
I think it's a little bit of an overreaction because the way I look at GOATs, you got to go by title defenses and clean drug tests. I think that's important. I kind of swing back and forth on that one too, though. I don't know. I think with Anderson Silva, everything, the amount of times he defended, Demetrious Johnson, Georges St-Pierre, I don't know, just in my head, he's still got some work to do.
If Islam beats Garry and another top welterweight, he could be the GOAT. I would even put it a little bit further. Look, and he's my boy. You know I'm going to homer out for him fucking nonstop. But to be honest, I think he's got to beat Michael Morales, and he's got to beat either Shavkat or Carlos Pratis. And he's got to beat them in terms of he's got to make it convincing. Like, he's got to either dominate them 50-45, or he's got to finish them by submission or TKO or knockout or whatever it is. For me to get him to surpass Jon Jones, I've got GSP and I've got Islam both there. I got them right now. I got GSP and Islam neck and neck. If Islam goes out and beats Ian Garry and submits him, I put him above GSP. And the reason being is he defended his second title where GSP never did.
It would have been easier for him to get into the GOAT conversation had he been kind of independent and just had a different outside life. But because he came up under Khabib, he's always been kind of in Khabib's shadow, and it's kind of difficult for him to remove himself from that shadow. So it's almost like we don't look at him in the GOAT conversation because of that.
I feel like he's surpassed Khabib. All respect to him.
Well, yeah, I think so too. He has, but we don't think of him as a GOAT. But we were like, oh, put a Mount Rushmore, and we go, oh, Khabib.
Yeah.
We don't think of Islam as that, because I think that we still kind of look at him as Khabib's little brother, like his protege. But he surpassed him. If he can beat Ian Garry and beat like another guy, you got to start putting him in that GOAT conversation.
Title defenses at a new weight class.
Yeah, you have to.
If Islam is able to go out there and get it done, I think he puts himself now in just a different class of a very, very short list of people that are considered some of the best. I put him in the top 5. I put him in the top 5 because that's a difficult conversation without mentioning Alex Pereira. That's a difficult conversation without mentioning Jon Jones.
He's not fighting just for a win. He's fighting for legacy here, a big legacy. You know, it's not only talking about greatest of all time, Mount Rushmore. He's talking about beating Anderson Silva's record, which is insane. 16 consecutive wins in a row. A win here over Garry would put him at 17 consecutive wins.
It's so easy to lose in a sport. Anything could happen. Like, you could literally walk and slip and catch something or get caught with something. So what he's doing is wild. Now to do it at 2 weight classes is even bigger. I don't think that people understand how hard it is to put that big of a streak on or get a double-digit streak in the UFC. It's one of the craziest things. And then you're fighting the best guys in the world every single time. But yeah, I mean, that's gonna put him on close to that Mount Rushmore, right? At what point do you be like, oh, he belongs up there? Like, they're not mentioning his name.
But a 6'2", 6'3", sniper of a guy like Ian Machado Gary, has a beautiful record, 1 loss. You take out a guy like this, have a title defense at 2 weight classes, and you beat Anderson Silva's record and now have 17 consecutive wins. Now I do. Now somebody like me who's always had question marks on Islam's career, now I do have him in that category.
I mean, his last fight was against DDP, or no, was it against DDP? Or no, it was against who was that 170? Fuck, who did he just fight? He's 34. Who the fuck did Islam just fight? And it wasn't like he just took the belt from him. JDM. And that was that people were pissed about that fight. Remember, took him down, held him down for 25 minutes. It was not a. People were like, "This is not what we want to watch." And that's sometimes just how you have to win fights. So if like he goes out there and does beat Ian in that same fashion, that's gonna hurt his greatest of all time conversation, which is crazy because the guys he's fighting are so high level, but just by as what people see, it's like
people want to see someone get the fuck beat out of them, and they want to see him laying face first, knocked out cold.
I mean, there is a lot at stake here, and even for Ian Garry, if Ian Garry does get the victory over Islam Makhachev, like, bro, he jumps into the pound for pound list automatically, at least in the top 5 right away. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot at stake for both, man. You know, but I do feel like there's a lot more at stake for Islam Makhachev for that same reason I'm telling you. He breaks the record. And not only does he break the record, but because he defended his belt, you automatically possibly put him top 3 greatest of all time.
I was pulling up Jon Jones' record. Like, you remember the run, right? I mean, okay, obviously the Matt Hamill, the DQ. All right, then you got Vera and Matt Yushchenko, who he just destroys, right? It's like scary. And then Bader, when Bader was like, oh, okay, these are the top guys. But then the run of Shogun, Rampage, Machida, Rashad, Vitor. I'll even throw Chael in there. Undefeated, undisputed. I mean, you throw him in there, right? Then you got Gustafsson, Glover, Cormier. You know what I mean? And then you start going, okay, now you're going back through everybody. But like that run right there, I feel like Islam, and maybe not necessarily through any fault of his own, and maybe it looks different in retrospect down the line, but I struggle to see that stretch where it's like legend, you know?
Look, he's already got, the 2 titles. John got the 2 titles, but he's got to do more.
They're not the same though, John.
I'm not saying they are, dude.
Okay.
But it's a matter of John had so many title defenses within that light heavyweight. Now, those title defenses became different as the years went on. As far as, if you recall in the beginning, John was walking through very good people. But I looked at that. Islam already he's got the record in the UFC for the most title defenses. Is it tied? I thought he's one up on it.
It's not title defenses. It's consecutive wins.
Is it consecutive wins?
Yeah, with Anderson Silva, he's tied right now.
But as a lightweight, doesn't he have the most title defenses?
Yes, he does.
There you go. So he's already got that. So now I'm not saying he's going to match George in the welterweights, but he's going to have to run off, in my opinion, somewhere around 5. That's a lot, I know, but he gets 5. He is in that position where you can say he's done so much that he overtakes Jon Jones.
Ian Garry is a legit guy, #1 contender, young, very defensively stout, really good footwork, really good fundamentals. Like, if Islam beats a guy like that, honestly, dude, he might be. He honestly might be. The one thing I'll say is a resume like Jon Jones's in the pure weight class, like all those light heavyweight names, everyone's going to say those guys were too old. That argument to me is very overstated. I mean, somewhat true, but overstated. And like the murderer's fucking row he went through, to me is going to be hard to look at. But dude, up a weight class, and you're not only taking the title off a guy, but then you're making sure that the #1, the clear #1 contender doesn't even have a prayer. Like that is fucking insane.
And I mean, Islam's got just about every record, right? I mean, from the four title defenses, lightweight record, and now going to beat Anderson Silva's record. I mean, there's a lot at stake for him here, being pound for pound #1. There's a lot going on. And Ian Garry's no slouch by any means. He's a very tough competitor. And, you know, what Ian's got going against him is that he's got Islam Makhachev on the other side, who happens to be the guy that can stand with him, who happens to be the guy that can take him down. Where that's what I want to see. I know Islam can stand with Ian, but can Ian last on the ground with us? I don't know. Maybe yes. But one thing's for sure, it doesn't matter because Islam prepares for everything. He's well-rounded.
The great thing about him is, do you get the sense that he's near done? Like, I feel like most of these guys, by the time they were achieving these types of things, you know, they were at the tail end of their career. It felt like they're one step out. Like they just were constantly looking at, you know, what's beyond. I don't even get that sense from him. I just get the sense that he's going to keep going until it's, you know, it's just a fact that he's the GOAT, right? Like, that's what it feels to me. If he's going to stick around, some of these young dudes who are coming up in that division, man, and beat some of them, like, because so many of them right now are they're on their whole heads, you know, like Michael Morales, you know, like, or that type of guy, right? Like they if you're able to beat some of these guys, or they're at their height, or they're supposedly just coming into their own, that's going to speak volumes, especially in another weight class, you know. So maybe he's missing, like, I get what Long Island's saying there. There's a little bit of something like the wow moments, or like the deep connection of rivalry. Like he hasn't had some of those things. Guys who test him and he has to like dig in some level that we haven't seen or whatever. But in a way, like even that last point kind of just points out his dominance. So I think that getting by Ian Garry is a big deal. I think that this is one of those things that like nobody really makes easy work of Ian Garry. If he does that, dude, like just the volume, like the you know, all 17 fights at that point then become a story, and like it just keeps building. But this division he's in right now will define him, man. Because I'm like, if he's able to keep doing it, dude, look at that division.
How many more fights do you think Islam has to win to become the GOAT of UFC? That's from next, guys. If he beats Garry, let's say he subs Garry in round 1, he has a stellar performance, I think people will still debate if he's the GOAT or not. I don't think people will give him automatic GOAT status. What would give him automatic GOAT status? Well, if Ilya had won against Gaethje and moved up to 170, and it was the mega fight of UFC history, the biggest pay-per-view sales in UFC history, which I'm not saying it would have been, but if they could get those kind of numbers, and they could, and I really believe they could, that was a high potential, because you have Khabib in the corner, you have obviously Islam, the double champ, and you have this fighter trying to be the first triple champ. Of course, Pereira was the first to attempt it, but he would be the first to do it if he actually did it. If you had that much hype behind it, and it was a record-breaking pay-per-view type event, Paramount type event, like the numbers were record-breaking, I think people could go back and remember him as the GOAT. But now because Ilya lost and he's not bringing this mystique to their potential fight in the future, which I don't think is going to happen now, it's not going to materialize anytime soon, that could have been something that would have gave him automatic GOAT status.
Can I throw this out there though? If he beats Michael Morales and Sean Strickland is still the champ at 185, that is a very winnable fight for him. That is a very winnable fight for him. Technically, cardio-wise, all of those things. Sean doesn't hit hard. Sean's got, you know, the finish over Fluffy and stuff, but he doesn't hit hard like as in he's going to overwhelm you with stuff. And if he goes on to win a third title, it takes a chance. Like, well, I'm going to see what happens. Yeah. I'm just going to be honest, man. There's nothing you can say that will deny him of that.